It's nice to actually feel winter. I'm worried we're losing our winters.
Well, we certainly saw winter here in Colorado last week, but today, even with that snow still hanging around, it felt a whole lot more like spring. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I'm Mark Salinger.
And I'm Jennifer Meckles. It was one of those days you just want to go outside. We hit a high almost at 70 degrees today, and that warm weather is sticking around all week.
Corey Reppenhagen is joining us now. And Corey, how long can we enjoy those warmer temperatures?
Well, technically, all week is going to be warmer than normal, but there is a little dip in the road on Wednesday. So for the most part, 60s, except for Wednesday. It is a fall spring. It's amazing. But anytime you get these warm stretches late in February, you know that there's one more thing coming down the road. And we like to call it second winter around here, and it usually happens sometime during March. Right now, though, these temperatures, we're still in the 50s here in the 9 News studios, 47 down in Centennial, so it is definitely a mild night here. 67 was officially the high temperature at Denver International Airport today. That's a good 20 degrees above the average, a little shy of the record though. 34 this morning was a very mild low temperature, and we'll have more of those coming up tomorrow. Probably above freezing for low temperatures here across the Front Range. And this is what your day looks like on Monday. A little bit more cloud cover than we've seen the last couple of days, but those temperatures getting right back up there with 67 in Denver. That'll come with some winds as well. That's all coming up in the forecast.
So even with temperatures 20 degrees above average, like Corey was talking about, we still have to remember it is still winter in Colorado, especially in the mountains.
Yes, technically it is winter. There were 2 avalanches yesterday in the high country. One of those turned deadly. In Grand County, the sheriff's office says a skier died after an avalanche on the Fingers area of Berthoud Pass. That is a known steep, rocky area. The sheriff's office says the avalanche was skier triggered, but it's unclear if the victim themselves was the person who triggered it. That person's name has not yet been released. The other avalanche in Grand County yesterday was caught on camera. The sheriff's office says crews responded to Gravel Mountain near Grand Lake. They think a snowmobile caused this one. 3 to 4 people got caught in that slide. Luckily, they were able to get out either on their own or with the help of some bystanders, and nobody got hurt.
New tonight, Keystone Ski Patrol has reached an agreement with Vail Resorts for a new contract. The union representing those 81 employees at Keystone voted to ratify that deal last night. They say the new contract includes a pay raise for every member of the Keystone Ski Patrol, among other benefits that they were fighting for. It avoids the potential for a strike like we saw in Utah over the holidays. Park City Ski Patrollers, you may remember, went on strike when they demanded better wages from Vail Resorts in January. That strike likely helped these employees here at Keystone have more leverage in their own negotiations. Back down here in the metro area, a large fire at a warehouse in Aurora today destroyed 2 semi-trucks. It also damaged 2 other trucks and burned inside the loading dock. This happened around 4 this afternoon off East 32nd Parkway near I-70 and Tower Road. Aurora Fire Rescue says the fire was an accident. It was caused, they believe, by a malfunctioning refrigeration unit on one of the semi-trailers. Hazmat crews showed up as well to help with a diesel fuel spill from the trucks. Despite the damage, luckily no one was hurt.
Tonight, several federal agencies are warning their workers not to respond to an email asking them to justify their government jobs. Billionaire Elon Musk, Trump advisor Elon Musk, issued the ultimatum to federal employees over the weekend. That email asks workers to summarize the work they completed this past week without sharing any confidential information. And Musk said that a failure to respond to this email would be taken as a resignation. Well, now the FBI and the State Department are telling their employees not to respond.
Tomorrow, the world marks 3 years since the start of the war in Ukraine. According to the United Nations Human Rights Office, more than 40,000 civilians have been either killed or injured in Ukraine, and millions more have been forced to flee their homes. Amid comments from President Trump blaming Ukraine for the war, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he would resign from his post in exchange for peace in Ukraine and NATO membership for his country.
At the Colorado State Capitol today, a crowd gathered to rally for a peaceful end to that war. Some gathered in support of relatives, some still living in Ukraine. Others just gathered for solidarity. All of them were together in their support for the war-torn country and its people.
We came here just to raise our voices, to raise awareness that the war is still active, the war is not ended, and it's continuing. And we do need help. Ukraine needs help. not only with weapons, but just a humanitarian help, and that's what we're trying to do.
After that rally, the nonprofit Ukrainians of Colorado invited people to attend a fundraiser at the Thin Man Tavern. That's where donations went toward medical supplies, food, aid, and support for displaced families.
Today marks 80 years since the U.S. Marines hoisted the flag, the American flag, at Iwo Jima, a symbol of hope and freedom during a tough battle and a long war.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us tonight. For one Coloradan, Rachel, that moment in history is a personal memory.
Yeah, February 23rd is a day Dick Jesser marks every year. Now 100 years old, he still remembers the moment he and his fellow Marines first landed on Iwo Jima and the hope he felt days later seeing that flag raised.
There I am holding the Japanese flag.
On his desk in Boulder, Colorado.
We lived in these 6-man tents when we were training on Maui. And
Sit memories from around the world.
you want to hold a grenade? Just be gentle, okay?
Speaking about his service in World War II
This is Red and that's me.
isn't easy for Dick Jesser.
Yeah.
He joined the Marines in 1942. By 45, he was on his way to Iwo Jima.
We didn't know a thing about combat, but we had the sense that nothing could survive on that island.
February 19th, they landed under heavy Japanese fire.
I hit the beach, looked over to my left, and there was a Marine lying on his back with a big bubble of blood coming out of his mouth. And as I watched him, he died. And that was my introduction to combat.
Over the next 3 days, he was hit with shrapnel in his back. The situation seemed bleak. He wrote to his parents, telling them goodbye.
I said, it doesn't look like anybody's going to get off this island alive.
February 23rd, he was standing on the beach when something caught his eye.
And I saw the flag flying on Suribachi. On the 5th day, that was the 23rd, and I started screaming, "The flag is up, the flag is up," and everybody started screaming.
The flag offering hope in a battle that was far from over.
It really gave not just me, but the guys I was with, my buddies, we all thought, well, maybe now we have a chance.
Jesser would spend 36 days fighting on the island. Nearly 7,000 Marines were killed, according to the National World War II Museum. Another 20,000 were wounded.
It was totally covered by crosses where our Marines were temporarily buried, and you could just, in that one vision, see what it cost us to take Iwo Jima.
In the decades since World War II, Jesser has made a career teaching here in Colorado as a professor at CU Boulder, even helping found the Institute of Behavioral Science, now named in his honor.
I've taught thousands of students, and I have a feeling that, or they tell me, that I've made a difference.
Sharing memories of Iwo Jima is never easy, but he knows it's important.
I feel a responsibility that whatever it has meant to me is part of the history that I hope will have some impact on future generations.
Jesser was awarded a Purple Heart for his service in World War II. He was actually supposed to go back to Iwo Jima this year. He was scheduled to go on a trip, but because of volcanic activity, that visit was canceled. Jesser says he wants to get back there to pay his respects and honor the friends who died on Iwo Jima. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
What an incredible life. And
It's so important
the
to tell
impact.
those stories.
Yeah. He also looks so good. That's just wonderful. What a piece of living history we have right here in Colorado.
Absolutely. He says these stories are hard to talk about, but so important, and that's why he's repeating them.
All right, Dr. Jesser, thank you for your service. Rachel, thank you for your story.